we have Stephen Jones on the line? Okay, Stephen with Tulsa Renew. I'm glad to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, first of all, what does Tulsa Renew do besides siding? Because I had you, and I don't mean vinyl siding, re-siding a home, because that's what you and I had the most recent interaction with.
Yeah, I don't do any of that plastic stuff. We specialize in James Hardie fiber cement, so no vinyl, but we do windows, doors, stucco stone, anything on the outside that's going to make a house look awesome, and specialize in kind of like specialty designs to make that house pop and kind of make it your dream home.
Well, I know you certainly, I mean, if you drive by, if you see a Tulsa Renew van driving around, it is coming and going from some of the finest neighborhoods in town. And I'm not just saying that. When I see your van with, I don't know how many you have, but when I see one of those driving around, it is leaving a place that we would consider luxury or substantial housing development.
Yeah, we've been focusing on some historic projects, too, which have been really fun, working with the Tulsa Preservation Committee.
Yes.
And that's been a blast. So houses that are, from 1925, 1927, that have some really cool history.
Last I saw you was around Maple Ridge.
Yeah, all around Maple Ridge, 17th and Peoria, all in there we're working. In fact, we have a house right off of 17th and Peoria going on right now.
Well, I did this was years ago, but when the Hardie plank siding was first hitting Tulsa, I had a builder, and he said, Darryl, he may have been the first one to use it here, I don't know, but he pulled it out and he said, Darryl, watch this. And he handed me a propane torch. And he said, do this. I was doing a TV thing on it, TV video, pre-recorded video, and so I was like, oh, good grief. So I took this propane torch. I couldn't burn it.
That's awesome.
And then I was, trying to break it, and he said, termites won't eat it. I mean, this was good stuff, and it's really kind of taken the market by storm. Actually, it took a while. It took a while for people to realize that the extra cost was worth it. Comment on that.
So extra cost, really from like the leading remodel companies, some companies have been here for 35 years plus, and some younger companies. I compete against them a lot because people are getting estimates like they should. And, when they look at my business profile, they see excellence, they see crazy customer service, crazy communication. But the cost is really not that much more than a really high-quality vinyl now. So we may be, on a $20,000 siding project, we may be $21,000. On different. So it's not a huge gap anymore like it used to be. So,
but this is a cement product. So I feel like I'm talking, by the way, if you're wondering who am I even talking to anymore, Stephen Jones with Tulsa Renew. And what I find so good about this conversation with you is the Hardie siding is we don't have to worry about termites. It does it get water damage? I mean, if you don't paint it for a while, do the edges of it buckle up over a period of years like the masonite?
Like Smart Side or masonite? Yeah, that it doesn't. In fact, you can throw it in a swimming pool and it'll just be great 6 months later. It's concrete. I don't know what else to say about it, but it doesn't buckle up, it doesn't swell, and it doesn't absorb moisture like you would think. There's some other products out there that some new home builders are using these days called LP Smart Side.
Yes.
And it does buckle on the edges, and it's kind of like we're replaying that old masonite days. So
I can't tell you how many houses I've sold over the years where we've had to replace large sections or all of the masonite.
Yeah, I bought a house here recently. I think you and I might have had a conversation about that. Here, kind of in an older neighborhood and built in 1972. Gorgeous home, but just has a ton of masonite. Well, I know a guy, wink, wink, that can do it. But, that's a challenge for people that jump into a house and have this masonite siding on it. They need to be aware of those costs going into that home buying decision sometimes.
Well, my last project, this is what I want to tell you about. Give your telephone number. I want to give you a plug here.
Yeah, thanks. It's 918-960-1639, 960-1639.
And your web address?
Yeah, it's TulsaRenew.com, and you'll see...
how's Renew spelled? Is it just...
It's RENEW.
Okay, normal way. TulsaRenew.com.
Yep, exactly.
So here's what I thought was really cool. I called you out to give me a bid, and I'm busy. You know, I get all over town, but going back and forth to look at stuff. You sent me a bid on YouTube.
Yeah.
With an actual video of the project, and pointing out what you were going to be doing and what things I needed to consider on it. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, so I honestly, like, a lot of the ideas that you came up with in business early on, with use of technology, I think we're along that same vein there. So I
like you even more now.
But I remember back in the day, like, we've known each other for way over a decade now, and I think back in the day, I remember you coming up with using tablets. You know, you would flip the screen around and draw on it. Well, I keep finding products and ways to communicate to my clients that are more effective and help with the communication. Because people are busy, a lot of the old school siding companies and contractors want two people there to try to sell you a project and really be hard sales. Well, I hate that. So I wanted to go in and be able to communicate if the wife wasn't there and I'm dealing with the husband, everything that we...
But people kind of get a feel of who you are and who they're going to be working with without you being in their face.
Yeah, and it's crazy redundant for the person that I'm there, but it's a little bit of a wow shock factor. Like, this guy's putting a video together about my house with arrows.
A little extra time, yeah.
Yeah, but it really works great, and it helps with the precision of the communication throughout the entire project. And we do that. We continue that throughout the entire project with every evening updates.
Well, this explains, and I mean that this is a huge compliment to you. This is people who have very expensive homes or historic homes are extremely detailed people. They have to be in order to maintain the quality of what they have, because you can have a big home that is low quality. It's just big. But to have a true luxury level home, or to support and maintain a historic home, you have to pay attention to each little detail. And when you do a project, it has to be right. And so you have to hire someone who understands that and takes all of those steps seriously. And that's what comes through in your bid. And so I can see that. And one of the reasons I like to support good contractors. You know, if I'm going back and selling this stuff later, and I know if I know who's been taking care of it, you know, okay, let's be fair. You're not the only one. I like lots of contractors in town, and just, you know, having that good brand name, though, means that there's somebody behind it who understands what they're doing. And your specialty in this particular area has helped you skyrocket to the top and become, I've just watched you become the first choice for this kind of exterior, basically an exterior remodel.
Yeah, I think I'm pickier than the average. Well, I know I'm pickier than the average contractor in it. And that's kind of elevated the... I don't think people are willing to say that, you know, how picky does a contractor want to be. But as I love being picky, and I love going and saying, this is your house, we're going to do it right, and it's going to look awesome after we're done. And
you're going to live there. And this people are paying resale. People are paying more attention to this kind of stuff, especially when it comes to things like this James Hardie siding, because I'm careful about calling it siding, because it's not an old vinyl siding type of product. It'll hang around for a long, long time. Give me your TulsaRenew.com again.
Yeah, TulsaRenew.com, 918-960-1639.
Well, Stephen, we're wrapping up the show, and I'm really glad you could call in today. We'll be talking some more, and see you at the next home show, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, Darryl.
All right. You've been listening to The Future of Real Estate, Tulsa's source for local real estate news and information.